Good evening from InvestSharp. This is Randy Smotone with your Thursday, April the 15th market update. On the economic front, the weekly jobless claims came in worse than expected at 484,000. Forecast was for 440,000. Treasury International Capital showed foreign demand for long-term U.S. securities increased in February to 47.1 billion compared to January's 19.1 billion. Industrial production rose in March to 0.1%, but was below the 0.8% forecast. EIA nat gas report showed a build of 87 billion cubic feet, which was a little higher than expected. And housing market index showed the home builders more positive, with the index coming in at 19 for April compared to 15 for March. On deck for tomorrow are the monthly housing starts and the consumer sentiment number. Google reported after the close they actually beat on estimates, coming in at $6.76 earnings per share versus the estimates of $6.60 earnings per share on revenue of 5.06 billion versus estimate of 4.95 billion, a 23% year-over-year increase in revenue. But the stock did actually have sold off, and I think in part with some of it that there's some concerns that Eric Schmidt was absent from the earnings call. And of course, everybody's reading something into that. Maybe there is something there, maybe not. I don't know. And so Google's down about almost 5%, 28 points. Closed today at 595. Right now in after hours, it's down to about $567 on about 2 million shares traded. So the dollar and gold were up, silver was flat, and copper and oil were down. Sorry about that. So dollar and gold were up, silver was flat, copper and oil were down. Light sweet crude futures were down 33 cents to settle at $85.51 a barrel. We won't take a look at the West Texas immediate crude point figure because there's really no change there. Quickly look here at the dollar. So no buying in the dollar day. Very, very light volume right here. Heavy selling, but very light volume. So looks like the dollar's probably got some more downside coming. Let's look at the Dow. Dow closed up 21 points to 11,144. S&P closed up 1 point to 1,211. Nasdaq closed up 10 points to 2515, and the Russell closed up 2 points to 724. The Nasdaq had the largest percent gain, up 0.43%. The S&P was the lagger, up 0.08%. Volume was actually pretty good again today across the indices. So we'll look at the Dow breaking higher. MACD's looking fine. SPX, same here. Kind of indecisive here. This candle on the S&P, of course, is kind of indecisive, a little bit neutral. Kind of equal buying and selling there. NASDAQ, nice good candle. Higher. Remember, we have a gap here. It's going to get filled at some point. And then Russell went a little higher as well. Let's take a look at XLF. XLF, a little bit of red candle here. The volume went there, a little bit of volume there, but not bad. Looking all right. Let's look at Goldman Sachs, see what they did. Goldman Sachs and XLF look similar right here. So that's what that looks like. Look at gold, GLD, a little higher today, 62 cents. Still consolidating here after the breakout. Looks fine. Silver still right around here too, kind of a little bit of consolidation. Copper still, it's still holding here, so it looks fine. Let's look at the VIX. Volatility index actually was up today 1.92%, which is 30 cents. So a little volatility. People buying maybe some little bit of protection after we've had this big pop. Let's see. Let's go take a look at the chart of the S&P E-mini futures, the ES. This is a 30-minute chart, and if you remember, we talked about this channel that we had stayed in since middle of March. It goes further to this. So we broke out here to the upside out of the channel here April the 11th. Try to get that a little bit. So we broke to the upside, so we came back down into the channel, and then and that was about April 13th. then up here on April 14th, and then of course, April 15th, we're hanging around up in here. And what I want to point out is the MACD here is higher than the MACD here, which we, even though we went higher in price, and we went higher in price here, but again, the MACD is lower. So I'm a little concerned. There's a little bit of divergence here. I think we might have a little bit of a pullback. I don't know how. I don't think it's a correction, but we might have a little dip and be able to buy some stuff a little cheaper. So keep your eye on that. So that's kind of what I'm watching here. So if you look, you also kind of have a rising wedge type pattern. These red lines. I know it's kind of hard to see this here. Let's see if I make it a little bit bigger. So you also, because you've touched here, you've touched here, you've touched here, so you're definitely coiling. And with the way the MACD is looking, I don't think it's going to be to break up higher. It looks like we're going to break to the downside. Probably come back at least to maybe the 1200. Then the next level would probably be around the 1195. You could just keep taking off about and then probably back to 1185. So just don't be too shocked if we actually have some pullback here. I don't necessarily know. I know a lot of people are calling for a 7 to 10% correction, but I don't know if that's it yet. But just be mindful of that. Let's look at the sectors. 7 of the 16 sectors follow, finished in the green today. The Industrial Transportation Index was the leader, up 1.91%. Gold Index was the weakest, down 1.13%. Let's go to Chart Watch. I have a few things to look at. Some of them are the same. Whole Logic. I like how it was actually in a descending type triangle, but it had some good volume here. It's kind of hanging out right here. So over today's high, which is about 1839, if you got some good volume behind it, some decent volume, or it's moving higher, you might want to consider that one. I like Warner Chilcott. I like the breakout above the downtrend line here. Some good volume coming in all of a sudden. Looks nice. Rambus broke out, nice big breakout here. It's holding it right there, so as long as it can hold around the 23, you could actually use that that or 22.75 there for your stop. I would eventually target back up here to the 26. Over time, Weatherford, still like it. We've looked at this one before. I like the breakout yesterday, and it's holding here. No big selling or anything today. It looks fine. Been there telling everyone to watch Seagate Technology, and it broke out a little higher today, and the market was a little bit weak. I mean, we were up, but it was a little weak, so it pulled back a little bit. It still looks fine. NetScout Systems. I like this. It's got kind of an ascending triangle working here. Massive volume right here, which this is after the earnings, and it held up today. So watch it here for a breakout above this 1565, to 1575 area. I would target about 17 would be your initial target area. So I like this little NetScout. Skyworks, it's about ready to break out. Probably going to get at least to about 1750 or so out of it. Of course, unless we have a pullback tomorrow. Fuel Cell, I talked about it. I still like it. Talked about it yesterday. Amedisys, actually it's pulled back from the breakout, so now you just need to wait and see what it does. You need to give it some time because it's kind of failed to break out there. CHK, it held up today, continues this consolidation sideways. Again, I would wait till it takes out about 25 with some volume. Kohl's looks real good, went higher today. Like the way that one looks. Gesso still in this little sideways consolidation. Looks fine though. Infosys, after the breakout here and after on earnings, still holding up, still holding around that 62.25 or so area. It looks fine. CTSH still holding up after its breakout, looks fine. IBM broke out yesterday, still holding up, looks fine. Nvidia, as long as it can hold around this 17.25 or so, looks good. I like Nvidia here. American Eagle, I'd like to see it take out that 1850 on some volume to the upside and jump in, or buy it down near the 1750 State Street holding up right there. I like it for a financial. Accenture looks fine. Might be taking out that 4350 area soon. Keep it on your radar. Morgan Stanley's holding up after it, kind of consolidating here. As long as it holds at least half of this candle here, about 3050, it should be fine. GNK broke out yesterday. Tried to go higher today, but it pulled back. So you may want to watch that one and see what it does from here, but it looks all right. And then Imperial Sugar going sideways, waiting for the next move higher. It looks good. McClellan Oscillator, we're still back to this neutral, 8.67, nothing there. And then the current market signals, no change here. All three, remain on buys. There's no change on the price objective. No need to look at them. So, all right, that is it for today. Thanks for watching InvestSharp's Daily Market Analysis.